What's up, AP Stats? It's Coach Jay. We're podcasting today, section 7.3a. Let's get Gucci. Let's get going. I think we've got everyone today. Emily, Rita, Torrance, Charles, Harry. We are good. What's up, Rita? I just haven't said hey today. What's up, Jared? Good to see you, man. All right. As we get started, I need your kind of complete focus for these first few minutes, basically to set up where we're headed, okay? All right, we know a couple of things that we talked about yesterday that's important there. Do you have your notes there? Right? I'm good with you sitting there. I just want to make sure you got notes for me, or for yourself. 7.2 was the sample proportions. We talked about that before the end of the first semester, and we told ourselves that we're headed into this kind of the last section on chapter 7, which is 7.3. We'll do it both today and in through Friday, and that's talking about sample means, okay? So sample means is this idea of 7.3, and it basically is the same thing as sample proportions, just some different formulas. Real quick, help me out. What is the parameter, someone raise your hand, for sample means? Ivana?
Mu.
Yeah, mu. Good. And what is the statistic, someone different? Charles?
X bar.
Yeah, there you are. X bar. Good. What estimates the other? Kristen, you know what one estimates? Yeah, you did say that perfectly. So X bar is what we use to estimate mu. And you'll see that today in our activity as we keep going. Okay? So notice that down below, this idea of the sampling distribution, you could put this. Sampling distribution for X bar, okay? Cool. Right here in the middle, this is going to be what mu is, or where mu is, all right? Now, that's nothing new. I don't think anything that I just did is new. But what I'm going to tell you is that we'll come back to this. Remind me, these about 5 spaces below is what we're about ready to hit on. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some simulation to help us out, okay? To help us out. So I'll let you kind of get that in. Now, I was going to start with the penny activity. I think it's going to make a little bit more sense. I kind of made a little switch today. I'm going to switch them. So I want you to go to 7.3a. It's how tall are we, okay?
Funny.
No, Jared? Okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah, that's
That wasn't a joke for you, Coach.
I got you. That's fine.
That wasn't a joke for you.
No, that's not that's like an admin referral, is what I think.
Not the first time you gave me one.
This is
true. This is true. Okay, so we're going to start right here. As we go through this, my question is, well, let me give kind of the idea. How tall are high school seniors in Georgia? Attached are the heights of all 50 high school seniors at a small high school in the Upper Peninsula. I was actually taking this from something. So we don't have an Upper Peninsula, obviously. So we'll just say in the northern part of Georgia, up in there. It says, make a guess at the mean of all 50 students. Make another guess of the standard deviation of all 50 students. I will give you 4 tickets. Raise your hand. What do we call this distribution up here? If you can raise your hand and help me. Eric? Dot plot. It is a dot plot. That's good. I'm going to give you 2 there. But what type of distribution is this? Charles?
Sampling distribution?
It is not. Because remember, this one, what does that one dot represent based off of what I said up here?
It represents a sample of the sample of the high school seniors. That's all the high school seniors are.
You're right. Is this? I'm not going to give it away. You're close. You're close. Claudia?
it a distribution of sample data? Like, that's one person?
Okay, I like that. This is one person, right? So is this a sampling distribution?
No.
No, it is not, okay? Because it's not a sample of a sample. I like that. Torrance, do you have anything?
It's just a sample distribution or population.
Say that again. The second one.
Population distribution.
Population distribution. Here's why. If you look at this, it's all 50 students. Cool? I'm not taking 50 from it. It's literally all 50 students within the high school, okay? I actually went to a high school that had 50 students in the high school. That was my high school. No, it was more than that. I think there were 80 of us. 80 to 90, yeah. So as we go through, here's what I want you to do, okay? All right, eyes up here. Make sure you're here. In your groups, I want you to go through numbers 1 and 2. I'll explain kind of how you'll do that in a second. And then I want you to even go down to 3 and make sure that you actually put down the dot plot so you can come back to that in your notes. If you feel really good, you can go to 4 and 5, although that's not necessarily a have-to thing. But I want you to go from 1 through 3, okay? So just put up here, like Torrance said, this is a population distribution. It's all 50 students. And what I want you to do is I want you to go through, guess what the standard deviation and the mean is. Just guess it here. And then I want you to take a random sample of 5 students, average their height together, and repeat that 4 times. Okay? Now, what are we moving into, Kristen, on this? We take a population distribution. What is this down here? Yeah, you're right. It's a sampling distribution, right? We're going to head towards that. Because why? You're taking 5 students, averaging their heights together, and that average right here will correspond to a mean, and this will correspond to 1 dot, right? Does that make sense? Where that 1 dot is a sample of a sample. I want you to do that 4 times, and then right behind Kristen back here, there's going to be dots over here. I want you to take those 4 dots for you, and I want each of you doing it individually, so we have a lot of dots here. And then I want you to put your dots on this, and then we're going to check it out, okay? Based on the sampling distribution. Sound good? Ready? And break. Let's go. I'm going to set a timer for about 8 minutes.
Okay, so I put the mean in 170, and I know that because I counted 20 times with the dot, and then yeah, it was 170.
It's really because it's like a skid that comes out where you try to find it. You don't really have that.
No, but it's in
That's why they can drive they want.
Yeah, I was probably close to me.
I'm saying 168 to 169.
okay.
We can have
There's 1 dot at 169.
Coach Jay, you have your
Yes.
Do you happen to have an extra calculator? I have happened to have
And as far as standards,
Yeah, I do. Just make sure you drop it off right on my desk.
Yeah, definitely.
I got it.
he just heard you. He likes you more.
They were saying the mean
Whoa.
is 178.
Hey, that's a fact. Not even.
Yeah, that's not bad.
What's that? About Eric? Me and him are the same
Eric's
person.
like, I forgot my final. You're like, it's okay. You'll still get a 5. I still love you. You know, like he forgot his final. Whatever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't need it today. I just needed it.
Okay.
Let's just do it.
170. Wait, what'd you say?
You're still calling me out, though, aren't you? I got
I think it's 5.
You get it?
Yeah, I found mine.
What do you think it is, Eric?
4 to 5.
Why?
7 to 8.
Why?
Oh,
Because
my
of
battery's
Steve.
low.
Wait, why do you think that?
What is this?
Look,
Oh, you guys want some chocolate?
This is what I do every time, and I'm always right, and I don't know why. This is like 68% data. This is like 98% data. This is like 99% of data. Yeah, it's about 500. No, I'm ready to draw. It'll be like 6.
There's five?
Oh, really? I thought you said 8.
Change.
Yeah,
Okay, select a random sample of 5 samples.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I could say.
You have to like, it has to literally be random.
Okay, and we're supposed to do like that one for each person.
Like I did.
Wait, go check.
Is it hard for the calculator to pick a random sample, or can we just? Yeah, then we supposed to do.
Yes, that's a great question. So when you go over here, this will help you. So the student number corresponds with their height. So remember, you want to do this as a random number generator,
Can
right?
we do that again?
So-
Go to
And your number you're plugging in?
So you'll just do random integer, right? Remember on the
where do we go
calculator?
there?
I'll get it right here. It'll be random integer, which is off your probability, which is on the map.
Oh, wait.
No, lower is 1. And then upper is 50.
Lower so
And then
1,
behind
upper 50.
1 to
Are we
50,
supposed to
right?
do
Numbers.
And then you'll choose 5, right?
Because we're doing
Yeah, but I'm saying
That's my fault. I forgot to say that.
like I
And I'm thinking 4.
37.
This one.
Coach Jay, can you move the thing?
Random integer, and when you do this here,
I don't
when you go to random integer, yours will be parentheses, the lower number, which would be 1, right? Comma upper,
37.
which would be 50, and then how many you're choosing, right? Or your n, which in this case we're choosing 5.
Wait, how did I do this?
It's right there. It's above the 7.
Oh,
So I sneezed on beat.
16.
Like,
Most of the
I mean, we gotta do it.
13 is probably.
No, these are 145.
No, but we're doing 4 times.
Yeah.
The coach.
No, actually, you're right.
oh, it worked.
48.
We're doing 4
I
times.
just typed
We do 4 times, yes, sir. And each dot, right, is how many, what's the sample size of this?
And then you have the
Good. And when we put them all together, you'll have 4 each of you will do it separate, right? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 20, like it'd be about 40 or 50 samples that we're taking, right? And then you're gonna take those, you're gonna put them on a dot plot, right? And what do we call that dot plot over there?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help you because I know it's a lot of new.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting.
Good.
What if it repeats?
Okay. Oh, you repeated a number? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
For today, that's okay. That's okay. Normally, I would redo it, but for today, it's fine.
You can repeat it.
1 inch is like 12.2.
Can you see
What? Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere around the channel.
Hey, that's
It's community 3. You can tell me over there.
I think I'm live.
I got you, Grace.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yes.
Once y'all get maybe a couple of them averaged together, go ahead and start putting them up on the board, and that way we've got a few.
You want us to put decimals or do you want us around?
Good question. I would say
Down.
round to the nearest
Whole number.
whole number. Yeah, that's good. A lot of times I don't like that, but for today, just so we can see it, that's fine.
Okay.
Good question.
Ah.
I click clear.
Generally, standard deviations traditionally is the left and right of the mean for 99.7% of the data. One standard deviation is 68 to the left. 2 would be 95. And so 3, if I look and see, like, traditionally 3 to the left and 3 to the right is a good good estimate. So if I look at my mean, around 168, 170. So if you look at that,
I was gonna make a joke,
then
but
look
I'm
and see
not.
what number 3 to the right and 3 to the left would make, or like would have 99 points.
You going to high school if you do it?
I would say, yeah, that's good. Probably like, is that like 8 or
You going to high school?
8 or 9?
He's
Yeah, it
good.
was like 3 hours.
You
Basically.
could say 10.
He's gonna have to
I would say
kiss
we're
Milani.
10.
Huh?
He's gotta kiss Milani.
That would be about the right number. Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So, don't wanna hear it.
Is everyone good with this? We're all okay?
Not right now. She just twisted her.
Oh.
I didn't.
All right. What was the standard deviation y'all said?
I said 6 and 7.
6 to 7. Gotcha. Claudia, what did you say for the standard deviation?
I said 5.
5.
Because
You
that's
said 6 to 7. It's probably 6 to 7. I'm joking. I'm totally messing with you. I have down as like 9-ish. 9-ish.
How? Because if Anna did the 64%, 70 or not so. Oh God, 64% or 68% or whatever, and then 90 or what? 7 and then 99.
If it was 5, right? I would say because this is about where the mean is,
Yeah.
about 170. If I did 5, that would be 1, 2, 3. There's really not something that's 4 standard deviations to the right. You know what I mean? I would say here's the deal. You're estimating, so 5 is it's not wrong. You know what I
What
mean?
is it?
9.
9.
It's the actual real standard deviation was like 9.6
Oh yeah, that's what I got.
when you did it, and the real mu was like 168.96.
I'm still putting 1
I asked if you wanted to put 160.
When I did that, I thought you were gonna throw something at me.
You didn't. It was 168.9.
Whoa.
Everybody makes mistakes.
I was about to say, Charles, I don't know what
That
you're
is-
doing.
Yeah, like,
You're just estimating. It's not. It's okay.
You're just estimating because apparently Eric estimates better.
What?
Oh,
You said everyone makes mistakes in life. I was just thinking out loud.
If you're done with 3,
What if
I need to find a new favorite.
Because you're hating on me for my back.
No, I was just giving my opinion on what they Yeah, being friends with you.
I guess there's 3.
all right. Hey, if I can have your attention, this is where we're going to right now is extremely, extremely important. Okay. We're gonna have a conversation. Before we have a conversation, is everyone good on all the dots back there? We're all filled in. That's okay. Hey, we're good. While we're finishing, okay, here's what I want you to just touch base on.
Coach J, I'm being abused over here.
We're literally just saying.
I saw that.
I don't think she's
All right, eyes up here. So population distribution. We talked about the center. We talked about the spread. You estimated, so if you were like close, you're around that area, that's all I really care about, okay? That's all I really care about. What about the shape, though? Could someone tell me what is the population distribution shape there? Jared, could I have that phone for me? Thank you, sir. What is the population distribution shape? Claudia.
Approximately normal.
I love it. Yeah. So I would say that this is approximately normal. Just put this off to the side, okay? So if I were to describe what is the population distribution shape, I would say approximately normal. Cool?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, that's important because where we're going to head in terms of number 4 and 5, okay? So 4 and 5 are big, big, big. In terms of those 5 blanks that we were going to get to, we're going to kind of build off of that, and we're going to go into what is the shape the center and the variability from this, which is what distribution here? The other one was population. What's this one?
Sampling.
Sampling, right? So we're trying to go here and say what's the difference between what the shape, center, and variability is here compared to population, okay? All right, so here's a big, big note. I'm going to kind of go right straight into my golden nugget. The golden nugget I want you to know is this. If the population distribution is approximately normal, then the sampling distribution is also approximately normal. Okay? Boom. Big idea. Okay? I also want you to put that this is called the central limit theorem. We're going to keep hitting on this later on, specifically with the penny activity, which is probably one of my favorite ones, and you'll see why here in a bit. But is this approximately normal? Yeah, our sampling distribution is actually approximately normal. So I would say for our shape, what would we put for our shape? Yep, it is approximately normal. Can someone tell me why? Raise your hand and tell me why.
Central limit theorem.
Central limit theorem, which states what?
That the upper one is approximately normal, the sampling distribution.
What's the upper one? Bingo. The population distribution is approximately normal, then this will be approximately normal. Excellent. Okay? I'm not going to get into that. Good. We're good. What is the center of this down here? Can anyone raise your hand? Just tell me what is the center for this, Jared?
About like 170.
Yeah, about 170, 169-ish, right? So I would say about 169 to 170. Nicely done. All right, tell me now, is that the same as our population distribution? Yeah, pretty close, right? I would say it's close enough. All right, so I'll give you this. 6 take, kind of like what we did with proportions, but now we're talking mean. What is the formula for this? Claudia, go ahead.
Is it just like x bar equals mu? Like
X bar equals mu. You're close. You're close. Just the notation is all you're missing. Torrance?
Isn't it n times b?
Okay, no, that would be binomial, right? Binomial world, where binomial is like I either make a free throw or I miss it, right? This is not necessarily, although you could estimate with that, this is not necessarily binomial. But I hear what you're saying.
Okay, so on 7.2,
Yeah.
it was p equals mu p hat.
Mhm.
So do you still use mu in this one because it samples?
Yes. So it's a mu of what?
X bar.
Good. Mu of x bar equals mu.
wow.
Great job. Yeah. You say, Coach, what in the world are you talking about? Remember, this is the mean. Mean of my sampling distribution for sample means, right, is equal to my true mu, right? My true mean. Is anyone confused on that? So if you're like, Coach, what should I fill in? I think right here, if you were to fill this in, I came all the way down here. Let's go to, what is the mean of the sampling distribution? You would say it's mu of x bar is equal to mu. It's equal to mu. Very similar to this.
We talked about unavoidance, right?
We did, yes. The only difference with that, Harry, was yesterday we talked about proportions. Today we're talking about the mean world. But it actually has the same-ish, right? Same type of formula. Just proportions compared to means. All right? Claudia?
And then for the one above it, is that central limit theorem?
Great job. This is the central limit theorem. And in the C, I put CLT, but you know central limit theorem. I want to make sure I got all of the stuff here. By the central, and I actually got this off just a little bit, and here's why. Let me explain.
Sir.
So first off is this, okay? What if it's normal if what?
Population.
Normal if
Population distribution.
Good, Ryan. If population distribution is normal. Nicely done, okay? Now, if it is not, if not, this is where CLT comes into play. If not, by the central limit theorem, and that's why I don't want to confuse this, right? This is not really a theorem, this is just fact up above. But if not, the central limit theorem allows me to say that if my sample size is, or if my samples are greater than 30, if I take more than 30 samples, then guess what? It is large enough to say that it is approximately normal. So if not, the CLT says that if my samples are greater than 30, then it can be approximated as normal. What is it again?
Sampling distribution.
The sampling distribution for sample means. But we want to make sure that this is different world, right? We have proportions versus sample means. This is important. This whole thing is like a golden nugget in and of itself, knowing the difference between each of these, okay? We're talking about the red side, which is 7.3 today, okay? Am I making sense on this? We're good? Okay, let's go back real quick, because y'all are rocking. We did shape, we did center, we need to do what? Variability or spread. Good. And this is our last thing here. As I look at the variability on this, what did you notice about the variability of this compared to my population over here? Just describe it. Fiona?
The variability of our samples from our classroom is a lot smaller than it is from the population.
Can anybody tell me maybe a why with that?
Because it's a mean. It's like average. So
Exactly. Good. Harry, question. What does that one dot mean?
what the sample
Of size what?
size of it. 4. No. 5.
Size of 5. Great job. So it's one sample in and of a sample, right? So if you average them together, your lowest one, right? Coach Jay's height, which is way over on the extreme side, we know would then be averaged together to then, with someone who's smaller, then, and it would be towards the middle, right? Very good. Thank you, Grace. All right. Questions on this? So we would just say smaller. It's much smaller. Fiona?
Well, I just want to tell you, I saw that there's this basketball player that's 7'7", and I thought of you. He's in high school, and I just thought of you.
Thank
Just
you.
wanna let know. You're welcome.
Appreciate that. I don't know if I appreciate that or not. But yeah, much smaller.
Yeah.
Much smaller. And just to give you an idea, how do I find the standard deviation? I actually like this. This is a little bit better. The standard deviation of this X bar is approximately 3. Notice it is smaller. How did I find that? I can find it by taking the standard deviation of the population and dividing it by the square root of n. Okay?
Wait, can you just say that again?
Absolutely. So I'm going to put it over here in my, over here. So what is the standard deviation? The standard deviation of my sampling distribution for sample means is equal to the standard deviation of my population divided by the square root of n. Okay? So that's the formula for sample means. Okay?
Does the 10% condition?
The 10% condition still applies. Okay? So this right here is actually the same thing on this. And when do I have to use the 10%, or why do I show it?
So that you can use the standard deviation formula.
Hey, we can use the standard deviation formula. Very good. And Ryan, I was supposed to get this to you earlier. Good. So this helps me to use the standard deviation formula up above, okay? All right, here we go. 6 tickets. Can someone attack the z-score? Just to try, what is the z-score using all the stuff that we talked about, Charles?
Wouldn't it be X bar
So
minus
Z equals, right?
Z equals X bar minus mu
Yep.
over the standard deviation, the square root of that.
Is he right?
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. Okay? How many of you say, Coach, I didn't get that? I just need you to kind of go over it real quick. No, that's fair. Remember we talked about this is the statistic minus my parameter divided by my standard deviation. Well, what's my statistic? That was X bar, right? What's my parameter? Or my mean? That would be mu. Good. And then my standard deviation formula just comes straight from here, right? So the z-score formula doesn't change. It's just pulling from 7.3. Okay? you're good, say uh-huh. Any questions on that?
Can we simplify that?
Say it again.
Can we simplify the z-square formula and just put like square root of n on top?
Oh yeah.
You could. You could. I'm not going to show it here. If that kind of works in your head, that's fine. I'm not going to show it because I don't want to confuse people, but yes, you could. But this is, we just pulled this from what's above. From what's above there. Okay. Golden Nugget page. All right, Golden Nugget page. I will tell you this. We've already done most of this, right? In fact, as you look at this, we've already done this part. We've already done this, normal condition, right? We've gone over the central limit theorem of n being greater than 30 if. When does the central limit theorem, when do I use the central limit theorem? Could someone raise, Rita, you got to? Say that again. N is more than 30. And I actually don't even have to show the central limit theorem if what? You're good.
If the population distribution.
Great, and that's my first condition, right? If that's not true, then we go into the central limit theorem. Great job. Over here, again, you've already got most of this. This is stuff that you've gotten on both sides, on 7.2 and 7.3. So I feel pretty good about that, okay? Cool. Does anyone have any questions over any of this? Everyone's Gucci? I'll let you get that down because I know some of you want to get down there. Got that. Alrighty. I want to practice this kind of into tomorrow, specifically the check your understanding. So if we don't quite get to that today, I really want to make sure that we hit that, okay? Knowing just kind of as I'm looking towards the future, 7.3, which is our next homework, I believe I have that due on Sunday. I might have that due on Monday, but for right now it is Sunday. So we'll keep it in that way, just so you know what's coming up in that way. The character development today, before we get to our penny activity, which is one of my favorites, I wanted to just quickly read this just because I think it's pretty good. How many of you are Chick-fil-A fans?
I work.
Yeah? Who works there?
I do. Just Torrance.
I'm curious, Torrance, if this is true, what I'm about ready to read, okay?
Okay.
So if it isn't, just say, tell me, because I'm just curious.
Okay.
But one of the things that I was reading in my Coach Wooden book, I know you're surprised by that, is this idea of consistency. And they said this about Chick-fil-A. Drew Cathy was writing his book on Chick-fil-A, and he said this: consistency, I have learned, is important in the restaurant business. Customers don't like surprises. If they have a good experience, they want to repeat that experience all the way down to the coffee that they drink. Torrance, what do you think? Is that true?
Yeah.
On how you're trained at Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I mean, before you start working there, like you have to take you have to spend a certain amount of hours on like some website to train yourself before you actually get in the building. So it's like training prior before you start working there in the first place. So
Yeah. It's crazy. Have you ever gone to Chick-fil-A and have had a bad experience? I maybe you have, but it's few and far between. I think. I mean, when I go to Chick-fil-A, but we choose Chick-fil-A. It could be the lines could be wrapped around the building, but for some reason, I don't want to go to McDonald's. I want to go to Chick-fil-A. Okay, that's just me. But then John Wooden said this: consistency refers to repeatedly doing the things that will put you in position to succeed. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but it's actually a habit." I thought that was pretty good. Excellence is not an action, it's a habit. So if you're excellent in, I'm always big on players that are excellent in the classroom, I don't have to worry about them showing up for practice or whatever. Or when we talk about drama, like those are the people that are going to, when they say they're going to be somewhere, they're going to do it. And so not really a video today, but just a challenge. Thinking of Chick-fil-A, of just assessing yourself in 2019, Excellence in your life, is it something you repeatedly do? Is it something that you feel like you turn on and off? And what can you do to make that into a habit? Just something to think about in 2019. All right, y'all ready for the penny activity?
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for donating to my children's food fund. They're going to get to eat for a couple days, so thank you.
Our groups.
Your groups, thank you, because that's what we said, right? I need you right now to partner with one other, make sure, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 14 people. You need to partner with one other person in this room. Go. Partner with one other person in this room. When you do, let me know. Harry and Charles?
Then I guess.
Okay, then I don't.
Harry and Charles, y'all are going to be the multiplying maniacs. Okay?
It's Hannah.
Fiona, say again. Hannah and Fiona? Oh, man, I just went caps on that. Hannah and Fiona, y'all are going to be perfect polynomials. Okay? Good. Rita, who are you with? Rita and Torrance, you're going to be also the perfect polynomials. Digit doctors, Claudia and Eric, y'all are going to be the digit doctors. Some chums, y'all are going to be some chums.
You just did both of them together at the same time and then switched it.
I know I did.
That was fake.
So late.
I know it was late.
Wait, why?
Kristen, who are you with? Jared, y'all are going to be on the, hold on just a second. Y'all are going to be on Multiplying Maniacs. Kristen, Jared. Cool?
No, you know why?
Who else?
I'm gonna pick you, then Eric.
Yes, go ahead. That's fine. And then who
And I
else
was
did
like,
I not
first
get?
whoever chose
Emily,
first,
Grace?
he goes,
Okay.
pick a
So you
partner.
guys, y'all are going to be, there you are. Okay? Y'all are going to be some chums. Y'all are going to be some chums. No, for the Grace and Emily.
Who are we with? Wait, who are we with?
Good. All right, that is it. Y'all okay on that?
Wait, we don't have other people.
Yeah, no, put us with
Y'all are solo.
Okay. No.
I mean, it'll balance out for the other classes.
Put Ivana right on our team, please.
Whoa.
Deep stack. That's a stack.
You don't know about the other class.
Coach
What if we get people that are not? And then we have less people.
Yeah.
Last semester, we had Claudia and Fiona. That was a stack.
I didn't know, but I didn't know.
Eric doesn't get that many tickets.
We're going to be good.
Coach J. Coach J. Please.
I had to
And we were trying
I had
to
to carry my team last
We were
semester.
trying to finesse.
Why?
She's already killing me. I get tickets.
Coach Shay, we have created
She's already
this
doing
like
Please.
awesomeness, okay?
All right.
You have to let us be awesome.
I'll think
We're
about it.
killing us
Think about
inside.
That means
All right, hey, let's do this. As we get started, here's what I need you to do, okay? Let me set up the activity, and then we're going to get rolling. I think this is in your notes, is it not? Did I put this in the beginning? Okay. This is, I really like this. I hope that the central limit theorem kind of goes through your mind, okay? In fact, this is something I don't want you to forget, okay? Kind of a big deal. As far as proportions go, let's talk about that before I get to mean world. Proportions, how do I approximate something as normal? Someone raise their hand and tell me what would be the proportion side of how I approximate, or what's the rule to approximate this as normal? Eric, do you want to tell me the just name of it?
Law of large counts.
Law of large counts. And then, Claudia, what do I call the, or what would be the formula?
Okay. NP greater than or equal to 10, and then n times 1 minus p greater than or equal to 10.
Great. So that's proportion world, right? We're going to move towards the mean world. So here's the thing. All of the pennies in the world, we can't count that, right? If I was to find what is the mean age of all the pennies in the world, you wouldn't be able to find them. But we're just going to use this and say that this right here is our population. So every penny in here is our population. We're trying to find what is the mean age of every penny in this jar. It's going to be a lot, okay? There's no way that we could really, I mean, we could go through and then find the average of all of them. But what can we do to estimate, someone raise their hand, the mean of the pennies in here? Instead of just counting them, how could I find the mean or estimate the mean? You know? a SAM.
Distribution.
Okay, so real quick, this is population, right? If I took 50, that is a sample, right? If I took a sampling, that's different. That's taking samples of a sample. You see the difference? So we're going to do, you're right, sampling distribution is where we're headed. Okay, so with that being said, to make it a little easier, I'm going to make 4 of these, okay? Please don't steal the pennies.
Just think about stealing from the penny as you're stealing.
That's right, you're stealing from my child. Thank you. Alright, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to take a jar and you're going to put it around your group, okay? Similar to what we did before, you are going to do this individually. We got to move pretty quick because it takes some time, okay? When you do this, instead of putting dots up, just so that we can see this a little bit clearer, you're going to use sticky notes. So when you do this, every sample will be not now a dot, but an actual sticky note. When you do it, let's say the average age of your sample for yours was 14 years. You'll just take a sticky note, put it over 14, and then the next one will build on top of the next, okay? So round to the nearest year so we can see what's going on. Over here, you're going to do n equals 3, which means your sample size per sticky note will be 3 pennies. Over here, it'll be 10. Okay, that's why you got to move a little bit quicker. Okay. As you go to this, the year is. How do I find the year of this penny, or how many years it's been alive?
Just like around the 19
You can see the number.
Yeah. So like this one says 2003.
Mine is 16.
So how many years would it be? 16, right? And if, now that's good. We'll do 2019. So this would be 16. Okay. So this one would be 16, average them together and rock and roll. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, so get them. Go ahead. You're going to go through it. Make sure you do a dot plot on this once you put yours on that side. Ready? And let's go. Wait, did y'all get one right here? Oh, no, that's not a group. Or
Coach Jay, we need one.
do this.
Yeah, just don't care about
kind of
it.
rotate amongst your group. That way we got it. Did I get you all?
Yeah, we don't have
All right, got to move quick. Here we go. This takes a little bit of time, so I want to move. It says. Do it 5 times. You're doing it 5 times each person. 5 times each person.
Well, we're doing 3 and then 10, right?
Sure.
3 and then 7,
You go ahead at your own pace. Own pace there.
Apparently 89. Like, put them back, which means everybody has to go.
Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm like, oh,
Eric, you should know.
1989 plus add all the years up and divide by 3.
You should just know, Eric.
I do know, but
Wait.
that's no, 1975.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, Jared had a great idea. Add all of your years up, divided by 3, and then subtract that number by 2019. That way you don't have to do it every time. Do you know what I'm saying? You could do that. Good work, Jared. Yes, ma'am. If you could round to the nearest whole number.
Divide by 3.
Find a better way there, Jared. Good work.
What if it's a decimal?
If it's a decimal, you round to the nearest whole number.
Are we related?
Yeah.
It says take a sample of 3
Here, this one's yours.
Where do you see that?
Number 3.
It says replace the 3 pennies, then take another sample of 3 pennies.
You know how to read.
Oh my
I
god.
read, I'm losing it. I'm sorry. I feel a little delusional.
Hey, do this though. When you take your sample, replace it, and then do it again. Does that make sense? So don't just take 15. Make sure you replace it.
He's talking to you, Claudia.
Yeah,
Coach Jay was talking to you.
I replaced it.
No, sis, in here.
Oh, we're doing it now?
Coach Jay, it's actually really gonna be stacked if she's on it.
Claudia.
Letty's not being right
Please
right
put us
now.
all on the same team. I'm really worried about the other class.
Listen, this all happened because of AP stat. This squad.
No, literally no one cares. We just want
Just us. We're the only ones that care.
We can make our own team. We can make our own some
What time?
Thank you. And we didn't. You have made my semester better.
Hold up, yeah, Ivana and then Ryan.
Ooh, a concept.
He doesn't like me.
You know what?
I
We're
took
gonna
all
get
the team
Claudia.
only me saying I didn't get a lot of teams. That was really
No, you know what I'm gonna do?
No.
Don't do
You're
it. You already
fine.
did it. It's fine.
You're fine. Don't.
All right.
Wait,
Much love.
That means the other.
Are you putting us with other quiet people?
You
in
don't
other
even.
Yes,
you
yes,
don't
I
even
am.
Need to put
I don't
other people
care.
on our team.
That's fine.
We're good.
We just overcompensate.
Digidoctors.
Yeah, we'll overcompensate at school.
I can't even see the year on this one. It's
Oh, wait.
Corroded.
like that.
Corroded.
Is that what you said?
It's 1995.
Mine's
Okay.
30.
Yeah, Claudia. Stop
I like
so
how
hard.
quickly Ryan got.
Hold on, y'all. I can't do that.
No, Coach
Can't
Jay,
do
no
that.
one cares. Coach Jay.
I care.
Oh,
No, Coach
no,
Jay.
we're so
I
close.
can't do that.
We're so close to being real.
Coach Jay. Put my
Coach Jay, don't worry. I like the SRS that you took.
Can't do
What?
it.
That is not fair.
Very
So
good.
that was
It was unbiased.
Y'all.
Thank you. That was very.
But then it puts. Listen,
Okay,
you
you
would have put like
Okay.
that's so much pressure because then it puts it on like.
Also, now
circulation.
Coach Jay, there wasn't a lot of bias if all
And I don't
four of
like
these
very
people
biased.
selected in the random sample
No,
were
then you
all
just
the
But the
same.
thing is,
we.
I can't do that.
Wait.
This is I have to divvy them up in class. Cause I give different tickets out per class.
Yes, and so you can just put them
put
up
us
there
with
and
quiet
then
people in
quiet
other classes. We don't care. We just
Yeah.
want to be on the same team.
Nah, I can't do that.
Why not?
Like it.
No, I feel you, coach. You got to do the right thing.
Shut up, Eric.
You.
Oh,
like him.
Eric's got me.
Eric, do you not want us all to come on the best?
Listen, where did Eric go?
I feel personally targeted.
That is in the Bible. It was
He is
right.
segregating our
So
team.
He's being racist.
He's segregating our
Coach
team.
Jay,
Yes.
you know where Harry went?
Ha. I don't know where he went.
Okay.
I do. He said, yeah.
He said he went to the bathroom, but.
Hey, I'm gonna extend this real quick.
How hard is it?
Is that better?
Can you stand at the bottom like two? I got like 5 people left.
So cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm
You like
texting
the?
about it. I'm going to text about it until I have Claudia.
I'm going to text about and telling on Coach Jay. My teacher's he's targeting.
All right, keep moving. Keep moving.
Like smack my hand out of the way.
All right, keep them rolling. We gotta move. Gotta really move.
Coach
Yes.
Jay, it's not I feel like easy to technically calculate yourself. Like, this is what happens when you don't have
Okay,
people
if
together.
if we're not going to be on the same team, I want Jaden and Jackson Willard and okay, Coach Jay, since you're not putting us on the same team, I want Jaden, Jackson Willard,
Josh Rose.
We only
Josh Rose.
We only have 2 people on our team.
Oh, it'll balance out. I won't do that. Yeah, I'll have like
I'm coming
other
in
people.
tomorrow and I'm gonna
Like loud people.
I will. I will.
Who's on our
Why can't you put these people on our
Just
team?
can't. I really can't. I know I said and I went against what I said. I'm sorry.
You
I just
really
can't.
did.
It hurt my soul.
You definitely
It's not
segregated.
fair to everybody else.
It's not fair. It's fine, guys.
Thanks.
Shut up, Eric.
They could talk more.
I dumped this out outside and throw it away.
Man.
Just because we know the answers doesn't.
All right, keep it rolling. Keep it going here.
Well, that was something I learned a long time ago.
Y'all have 15 minutes
That
to
didn't
do
work here.
both of them, guys. 15 minutes. Say again.
Also doing 10
And the 10 one. Yeah.
How
this is
many
one.
times?
How many times do we do
Five all. Yeah. It's gonna be a little tough.
Coach Jay.
Do we do the 10 one time or 5 times?
Let's do the 10 one. Trying to see how many we would have. Do the 10 one 3 times. Cool. Hey, do the 10 one 3 times. Okay? 3 times.
17.
Yeah, hey, Ivana. Ivana. we
I
see
love
real
that
quick?
band.
Not me.
It went hard. Like I didn't.
Okay.
He doesn't have any features in it. So
Kitty, are you coming
That
here
looked
to
like
drama?
something
Oh,
he-
she's
I found his
asking
own
you.
features. I said, what?
Okay, I'm taking it out then.
Wait, so we have to do 10 now?
Yeah, that's good.
Claudia.
He hasn't said that before.
There, you were in the bathroom for probably 15 minutes.
Pass me
It's okay.
Can you pass me 3 more?
I forget 10.
Alright, keep it rolling, keep it going.
We did the pennies, and we took
Hi.
3 pennies. We took that, we have to do like great line.
It says do this. So you want us to do it 3 times, not 5?
For the 10. For 10, yeah. Just do it 3 times. Hey, Emily, Kristen, Grace, you all hear that? Just the 10.
Ready, fuck it.
Just do 3 times for 10.
Stop, Eric. Eric, the immaturity is not.
Yeah,
We actually we just didn't need to. Me and Amanda didn't need to.
I'm just calculating my free throw out.
Hey, once you're done with
I wanna be
those,
on
though,
We're gonna be disbanded. We're not.
once you're done, let me know. You're gonna take 3 pennies.
Negative
13. Add the years together, divide by 3.
Negative
I said one of those.
Subtract that.
minus 15.
And the black one like yelled at you.
And that's the age of the penny.
Got
You're gonna find an average age of the penny. No, that would be just 1 dot, right? It's the same weight distribution. Or we're doing 1 sticky note. So what is this one? That means
forced me into a shuffle.
Yeah, that's what I asked. That's why it's how it's saying.
It's in like 3 weeks, but I have to have a rough draft of what I'm
Is
going to say
that
by
your
next
street
Tuesday.
shuffle?
This one.
No.
Yeah, a lot of times we don't round, just so you can see it moving around the years.
Why are you back?
Does that make sense?
Alright, 10 pennies, here we go.
They're talking about.
You're gonna do that.
Kitty
5
asked me to do that, and I said.
Wait, take 3.
Yeah, she asked a bunch of people to do it. They said
Put
she forced me to
it
do
back
it.
in. Average 3. 28. 1 sticky note. Do that 5
You
times.
can't get a five.
Do that.
You can change it to 10.
And you can go back
I
here.
said you
you
only
do
have
it
to do
3
it 3
times.
times.
You're in it.
Eric.
Wait, what?
Clearly you're not paying
You
attention.
have to do 5 3 times and 3 times.
10 3 times. 3 5 times. Understand?
Why did
I didn't feel like he didn't.
Because we do the 3 1 5 times.
No, I definitely.
Yep, don't even fight her. She's not on the team.
2001.
What would you do without us?
Hey, y'all, for the 10, once you get the 10, let's do it on this board for sake of room, okay?
Because you would have done this whole thing wrong.
What's 87? Okay, wait.
Put it in your calculator, Dippin' Dog.
Well, I'm trying to do it without that. I'm trying to do it in my head.
Well, Claudia, you're not always a wizard.
Plus 14. Eric,
What do you
how many years away was 1987?
approximately?
What was that? Yeah, that was gross.
32, I think. It should be 32.
Okay.
1976.
Divided by
1978.
I'm just thinking. Then it's more random.
I think that works. Man, 2013 was popular year for penguins, wasn't it?
I have not had any
I got 2003.
All right, y'all are rocking good. We got about 10 minutes left, okay? You don't have too much time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was nice.
I'm gonna put 10 minutes on the clock, okay? 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I love this one. It's actually pretty cool. If we get to the population, it gets kind of cool. I don't know. Once you get done with 10, let me know, because I need your help.
I'm literally not even.
There's such an abundant supply of them.
Actually, it costs more than
Oh no, this is wrong. This is wrong. Oh.
Eric, how many info was
You'll put yours. But I want you to. We're gonna find the population of this. What is the distribution of the population? Okay. So what we're gonna do though, these are
How
gonna
many
be
years
dots.
ago was 1988?
So like if you look at one here, you're gonna put them. You see how like this is like a dot plot right here. So if you find one that's like 10, you'll go to the 10 and put it right there, and then you just build on top of those. Okay? We're gonna have everyone helping. So if you could, with the ones that you have, we may not get to all of them. But I want if you could just start with those. So put your 3 up there.
Want to split dots up there? Or like head?
You could do the sticky notes again.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
What if hydration is wrong? I'm not counting.
Okay, I don't know.
Is it at 22?
No, I have 25.
I just made mine.
25 and 25 for average of 10. Really?
In.
Okay, so 23, 24, 25. Go slide. Open that stuff.
How should I count it then?
Oh,
Blonde ones that you
Here, I got you. I'll do this. That way it doesn't. Once you get done with your 3, over the 10, let me know.
I don't make mistakes. I make happy accidents.
Thank you.
1941.
1, 2, 4. Oh, that's 3. 4.
Are you dividing it by 10, not 3?
Hurry up.
Oh.
Yeah, they all.
You can put it over the 14 if you want to. It's fine. Perfect. Yeah, you erase it anyway.
Really clean.
Cool. So once y'all are done, you can go ahead.
You're just adding them. Oh, those are totally.
So you're gonna take your pennies and you're just gonna put them.
Oh my god, I just cleared it. How do you want to do
2019
this?
minus the year.
So like, I don't know.
Is that hard to do?
I
Yes, correct. So like,
No,
I can help you do it.
I'm doing this.
Wait,
so
that's
I don't
so,
have to
like,
take a break.
It's gonna
We'll do
take
some
such a long
subtraction.
I mean,
time.
we won't do all of them, but
Okay,
you'll just start right here. And
What's
you can
1927?
kind of see where it's at.
Claudia,
So if you took
years
And
divided by a calculator.
well, you can just say, okay, this is 2003, right? So that's how many years?
16.
16, right? So you just put 16. You're just gonna put that in. Okay? So this one's 1983. So what would that one be?
Whoever's doing that has
36. 36. So you'll just go right over here at 36. Put it right there. 2011, which would be 8. You just go right here. And you're just gonna keep flowing. We're gonna see where it's at. Okay. Once you put the 3 up here, we're gonna see what a population distribution is. So you're gonna take your pennies and kind of just start building on top of it. We'll all do it together.
We've all been doing it by ourselves this whole time. So.
Yeah, but we're not gonna treat you like.
Oh my god, you're so smart. Like, wow.
Okay, but I wasn't using the cheating way that Jared came up with.
Cheating.
Do I
That's
put
like 3.
well,
Guiding
When y'all are done, let me know.
what's the call plus 19?
Don't ask me, I really don't know.
Be our team. No, we have a couple other ones too.
So we don't have to.
Yeah, 17.
Clean pennies so we don't have to do too much work.
We put on a clicker instead of eraser,
Absolutely.
just so that people don't erase your line.
Trying to see what would be.
I guess
Like
just
this?
select- yeah, there you go. Just so people don't erase your line.
It's a good idea. It's good.
What are we
I think the sticky notes are perfect.
Oh wow!
Whoa, 19.
Yeah.
Or it kind of is.
Why would it?
Keep it on 30.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all should do this with y'all's pennies at home. Just
This is my hobby. Wait, this one looks so cool.
put the pennies in the distribution.
That's like
hilarious.
college application. That's like
What do you like to do? I love it.
I love sorting coins.
Hey, once y'all are done, we need some help with our population. Once y'all are done.
76. Oh, that's far.
Yeah, so you can get on the other side and just kind of start going to town. So all of us will
Oh yeah.
Y'all already did this.
Well, we're bonding. We're bonding over hockey.
Alright, we got more people coming, so they're gonna take theirs, and y'all are just gonna. Actually, that might have been better.
That's what I was thinking.
Can we switch that?
No, but that's too many digits.
Is
If
it?
it's like 7, it would be like from 70 to like 19, which is like.
It's true. I like how you said that too. We'll just keep it, but maybe next time that might be a good idea.
What is?
All right, once you've done y'all's 10, let me know. We'll be.
What are we doing now?
I just have one.
So now we're finding the population distribution of our pennies.
Okay.
So we're just putting them in a dot plot.
What if someone just fell?
Oh.
No.
I just stressed them all out by saying that.
So y'all can take y'all's pennies. Yeah, if you want to, just take a handful. Good stuff. I love it. Yes, sir. Mr. Tumnus from Chronicles of Narnia.
Wait, these are shows?
Well, it's a movie. It's called Chronicles of Narnia. Yeah, it's like a goat man. People say I look like him, and so someone made a bust of me. Of Mr. Tumnus. Here's one. Right.
Next time I say like Arrow message
It's funny.
Yoda?
Yeah.
Are you guys making that?
Ew, that's it's like every single penny.
Every penny, our goal is to try to get as many pennies as possible on this.
I hate this.
This is my favorite one. If you want to do this at home, you can do it at home.
This whole time.
Wait, why? Wait, I'm confused.
You get every single penny and subtract it from 2019.
That sounds horrible.
Hey, we're not going to do all of them, but what we could do is, if everyone helps, we could get a lot of them done. Let's try to go for...
No, Ivana, don't mix that.
All right, I'm going to set a timer. Just do as many as you can in that timer, okay? I want you to kind of get the pattern of what's happening.
Yeah, I can't. That would make me go crazy.
I just watch from afar.
Hey, those dots over there that are in green, that are over on that side, does it exceed 25?
No,
it's at
that's 25.
Well, over there, it kept putting them, so it's not
Yeah,
like
I
you're
had
shopping
two.
anymore.
I had a 2, so I put it right there.
That's the 2. This is
I'm just concerned because
Is it throwing your data?
it's ruining the point of what it was supposed to be about. That's okay.
There's a lot of data points.
You're right.
Yeah, because it should look.
Stuff we do
Oh, I
in
see.
stat. This is our
Yeah, the stuff we do for stat.
AP
Well,
stat. This is it.
I made this one really hard so no one could play it.
No,
Just like how you move people to team, but it's all 6.
Wow, that was a shot. You're right.
Shots?
Hit me today.
Throwing shots about this for the rest of the semester.
I know. Just like sly comments. If y'all want to hop in, you can too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really say
Maybe
this
we're
myself.
all
If you want, you can sit there and then just kind of feed people.
Maybe if we're on the same team.
Yeah.
God.
Wow, it's salty. It's salty. Wow.
That's why we were like, so slow.
Hey, let's do this.
Blamed everything.
Hey, I want to
Oh my
see. I want to get a good group picture of everyone working.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
everyone's in.
All in, all in.
Yeah, we're not.
Wow. Wow.
Everybody get some calculators.
If you just are sitting, that's fine. But take a handful of pennies, and then you could just feed people and tell them, "Oh, this goes here, this goes here." Okay. All right, let's do it.
Well,
I'm just gonna stay here.
no, I don't want to be pennies.
I just have my calculator in my hand. It looks like I'm doing something.
You put this on 3.
I'm not sitting because I know I'm not going to be able to get up.
This will be a good group pick too.
Wait. I don't know if you're
Act like you're doing something if you're not.
Actually, I might have to take a Nico and Cap.
We're on the same team, so I don't know where you're
This one goes on 31.
This goes on 11. This one goes on 16.
This one goes on 27.
The long goes on 25.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
AP stats team.
26.
Coach, does that always stay there?
This one goes on
What's that?
5.
The wig. Is it always there?
Oh, today no, I'm rapping in my other class.
Oh, okay.
This is
Yeah.
on
Are there not any 2019 ones?
Yeah, but this
When
one
I was down at his
2019.
None.
This one 18.
Wait, there's
This
no
one
like
is on
20.
35.
Blueface.
39.
Yeah, alright.
23.
43.
13.
Hey, who needs that quarter? I need that quarter.
You put this on 19.
What quarter? I got the quarter, dog.
Why did you do that? This goes on
Quarter pounder.
I forget.
Like quarter pounder.
I got that quarter pounder.
All right, right now we have 5 minutes left. We'll go for 5 more minutes.
What is this, 9?
Do as many as you can in 5 minutes.
32.
This is impressive. When you get home, this is your homework for tonight.
Wow.
For the pennies you have at home. That'd be an awful homework assignment.
I would cry. Alright, here's the quarter.
46.
8. It's worth 25 pennies.
2.
You keep it to yourself.
Dude, that's worth 25 pennies.
So, sorry, I don't speak bros, man.
This one, huh?
Sorry, I don't speak bros.
Dude, when I have my AirPods in, I just all other languages just disappear because nobody talks rich. This one talks like, man, here, bro.
24.
Smells like broken.
Oh, it's
Why is
right.
it
Your
not
phone.
in
Where'd you go? You put this on 45.
Let's do this.
Isn't there something satisfying about it though? Like counting
Not
money.
gonna lie, this
Flavor.
is
Oh, and over hands smell like
Hey.
All right.
2017.
No, my hands are
Not
disgusting.
Oh, this is true.
That's what I'm
Everyone, child labor on 3. Look up here. Child labor on 3. 1, 2, 3.
What is this?
Child labor.
What is this? 34.
26.
I love it. I'm posting that one today. That's for sure.
Apple Factory, say what?
12 minus
I don't even
9.
Mina, can I put that on 9?
7.
I want older looking pennies. Give me older pennies.
Here.
This one.
You wanna see the refs on it?
This one's 4.
Penny for 56. That's
This one goes on 34.
This one's 3.
I want the old one.
Ooh.
No, I only see 19 something.
1.
Why am I here?
You have 3 minutes.
Grace, 28.
3 minutes left.
29, 29, 29.
Are we even close? Probably not, right?
Can you put this on 42?
14. We had a 14.
42.
Y'all did have a lot.
32.
You should keep it and make the next class
20.
continue to do it.
2020.
That's what I like.
43.
That's true. The problem is that they have to find the samples
22.
first.
Well, I mean, like, they can do their own work, but then finish
Dude, what am I
yours.
doing?
That's true. Oh yeah, like do the other pennies and then.
Like, do their own graft, I guess. I don't know.
No, that
You should keep this for Friday.
keep it for Friday.
Well, how's it gonna walk
People
around?
will do this on
They
purpose.
won't.
They will step on it.
Yeah, they will step on it.
Yeah.
People are horrible. They will step on it on
11.
purpose.
Yeah.
Ryan?
Wait,
No one in this class though, right?
Yeah.
No one in this class.
Jared, maybe?
Whoa.
No, people
I
all
didn't
work
say
too hard
words.
on this till I just step on it.
44. What is 8 plus 9?
Oh, that does look cool though.
47.
44.
Can I have some hand sanitizer? I don't like
I
the way
don't-
my
I
hands
hate
smell.
It'll smell worse if you mix it with hand
I
sanitizer.
think I've got some over here. If you want some.
It's called I have
The
lotion.
smell of
Here y'all go. If you
Oh,
want
no.
some.
Ugh,
There's
God.
no way I can get that ear. Hey, come on, try to get that ear. Say you want
I
one.
actually like the smell of dirty money.
I can't even tell.
That was your day.
97.
Come on.
You said 97?
Yeah. I didn't like that.
30.
31.
30.
31.
89?
This one.
39? Jesus Christ.
Wow.
This one 49.
Look at the. It's shinier. If you notice, it's shinier at the front than at the end.
That's 14.
This is so cool.
20.
I don't know.
Put it on 3.
This is 10.
On 3.
Put this on 10.
10.
1.
4.
8. 4.
I'd say it's all skewed to the right.
All right, y'all, 30 seconds.
Do we all get bonus points for this?
23.
Bonus points.
Yeah, we should all get tickets for this.
We should get Chick-fil-A since it was the
Yeah.
top.
That's not 38. Everyone should
What
get
good
it.
I say 20.
I didn't realize chicken minis are expensive.
Yeah.
They are.
Like,
Yeah.
really
Chicken in
expensive.
general.
Yeah.
It's, all of it is
Yeah.
I don't really care how Chick-fil-A touches my account, my
2014.
my money. I just you just accept that. You just accept the following.
I agree.
It's like
Well, because if I have a choice between McDonald's or Chick-fil-A,
Chick-fil-A, you're just gonna choose.
I'm gonna go to McDonald's
Absolutely.
and get a
I
$1.
don't know why that's
Alrighty.
McDonald's. I would eat any other.
wherever you're at, you could stop. Okay, so let's do this, okay?
36.
Dude, the egg
What's on
McMuffin.
36?
All right, put the last one in. Hey, let's just have a discussion about this because really the discussion's not long, but I'm just curious. This represents the population distribution. I know it's not every one of them, but this will be our representation of our population. What do you notice about, we're talking shape here for this activity. What do we notice about the shape for this distribution? Good, Grace. Yeah, so it's skewed right. Can anyone give me a reason why it is skewed right? Fiona?
I'm guessing because the production of money picked up over the years.
Could be, yeah. Like, so maybe it picked up over the course of time. This is true. Do you have another reason, Harry? I thought I heard you say something.
Oh, I just thought like maybe like the older pennies disappear. They just.
He's actually, that's actually probably true, right? Think about a 50-year-old penny has more chance to be lost, right? Have you ever heard of like the money thing? Like dollar bills are, I think the average age of a dollar bill is like a couple years, like 3 years. Money is like hard coins are obviously longer, right? But it still has the possibility to be lost. That's why if you look at it, there's more on the front end than on the back end. Does that make sense? So it's skewed right. So based off this population distribution, if we did them over the course of all the pennies in Georgia, this is just a small representation of what it would be, right? Does that make sense? Yeah, everyone get hand sanitizer. All right.
This is straight alcohol.
It smells so good. I love
I
it.
know, me
smelling
too.
it and I
I love
inhaled
hospital
it with my
smell.
mouth.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Cuz.
Hospital
That's
smell?
like Expo Market.
Sometimes I'll just,
Oh, Expo Market.
Yeah, that's it.
did he just say that?
There's no smell.
Expo
Okay.
He's used to inhaling
so
Expo Markers,
good.
that's why.
No, that's right.
Wait,
Did I say that?
Where's that
Did you?
hand sanitizer?
No, I don't think I
Can
did.
get that
You almost made a joke that one time, I remember you.
Oh, I did, yes, but I
You
shouldn't
almost
have.
Can I have that?
All right, so, hey,
Can
keep
throw
with
it.
this. Keep with this with me for
Yeah,
just a
that's what
second.
happened when I squirted.
All right, hey, stay here. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Really, Grace? It's cool?
All right, quiet. Shh. All right. So, since it is skewed right, when we do a sampling distribution, can we approximate our sampling distribution as normal, just based upon the graph right here? No. So, because of that, we go to our second condition, as far as means go, which is called our
COT.
central limit theorem, which states that how many samples must we take in order to estimate the more than 30, right? All right, so look, if you look behind you though, just real quick, that is our where our sample size per sticky note, thank you Ivana, is 3, right? All right, notice it's pretty wide, right? Is it higher variability than our population or smaller variability? I know it's harder to see because it's
Higher.
actually, I think it's smaller.
It's 34 at the end.
2 to 30 something.
Yeah, and I think this is from 1 to 58 or something, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little different. That's actually smaller variability. When we went to 10, is this smaller variability than over there?
Yes.
Yes. Why is that?
Smaller spread.
Smaller spread,
And it's taking the means.
larger sample size, right? Larger sample size. So when we have a larger sample size, notice the variability decreases, right? Now, here's the thing. Is that approximately normal over there?
Yeah.
Yes, why?
It's kind of like a
Don't lie.
bell-shaped curve.
Yeah, and because how many samples did we take? I said 36, I think it was more.
It's over 30.
It's over 30, right? So not based on the population, but based on my samples that we took, it was greater than 30, therefore we can approximate it as normal. Now over here, I actually don't know why this is the case. Something messed up, okay? I don't know what. But if you notice over here, you'll notice it has smaller variability, Is this approximately normal?
No.
Not technically. However, we could still approximate this as normal. Why?
CLT.
There's more than 30. Okay. However, are there more dots over here or more sticky notes over here or over there? Over there, right? That's why that looks more normal than over here. If we were to take more samples, then this would get closer and closer to being normal, right? Being normal. All right? Cool?
Yep.
Do you have any questions on that?
No.
Sir.
All right, right
This was
on.
good.
It's fun. Good stuff. All right, have a seat real quick. Let me talk over a couple things. We've got 3 minutes.
You guys may as well just.
I really don't want to touch it because it looks so beautiful.
Put like semi-perimeters, like fences.
A fence around it?
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
Coach Jay.
Like, like a warning
Wait,
sign.
for my team, really?
Oh no, my team. Since I probably need them more than you guys will.
Okay, what?
Cool, cool. Hey, the leftover pennies, if you could put in that jar real quick, that would be awesome. Leftover pennies, let's put them in. I really don't want to touch this, but I might have to.
Just to do it around here.
Try to leave it as long as you can.
Yes, yeah, tell me whoever touches gets an admin.
I'm gonna touch it because I have to like.